What's going on? Dylan Conrad, Metabolic Mama Secrets. Today I'm going to talk to you about should moms be doing dog crap style of training. Before I get into that, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on Spotify, iTunes. Hit the bell button, follow, throw a review up there. All helps the algorithm, helps me help more moms, more people like you. So dog crap training, that isn't like just like a throwaway or just like a phrase that you would say about like shitty training. It's actually a style of working out. And I'll kind of explain what it is. So what is dog crap training? So dog crap training was started by this guy, Dante Trudell, as a bodybuilder. And it's predominantly, from what I've seen in like the internet forums and articles, it's done mainly by men. Which kind of makes sense because I feel like a disproportionate amount of men compared to women want to build muscle. So that kind of makes sense. So what it really looks like, and I'll get into, you're going to be very surprised when I get to the end of this about, my opinion on muscle and not and all that stuff. But, it's basically low volume, high intensity training, right? With the goal of muscle hypertrophy. So building muscle mass. So low volume, what that basically means, and if you see me look at my screen, I have a whole bunch of notes here, but low volume is basically the amount of set and reps you're doing for a workout. So say, you're doing 3x10, you pick 10 different exercises, that's 30 reps per exercises, times 10 is 300 reps per workout. If you're looking at more of like a dog crap style training, it's really like typically only, about 25 reps per exercise, 25, 30. So let's just say 30, but there's only like 3 or 4 exercises. So you're getting like really low volume, right? But really high intensity. So what does the high intensity mean? High intensity for this style workouts, it's basically working closest to, where you go into muscular failure. So if you're doing, for example, a bicep curl, the minute that you can no longer bring the weight up on a bicep curl because your muscles are failing, even if it's like, going painstakingly slow and it takes you 5 seconds to raise that weight up, it's still moving up, right? So that's not failure yet. It's where you literally cannot lift it anymore. You're like stuck. So that's failure. And what the research is showing is that the reps, basically, it doesn't matter the amount of reps you do for muscle hypertrophy. 10, 15, 20, 25 comparatively, it's basically the last 5 reps you are before failure. So before you hit muscular failure, those last 5 reps are really the only ones that matter, the only ones that will build muscle. So it's very interesting. So the dog crap basically utilizes that research and pairs it with some other research about extreme stretching, which is they did a bunch of research. I forget what it was on. I know it was on an animal, but with like similar, anatomical structure to like a human. But what they found was the extreme stretching. What that did is it stretched the fascia and it allowed the muscle to expand. So the analogy I like to use to a lot of people is if you have your fascia is like a soup can, right? So if you had the soup inside of it, which is your muscle, and that's basically the fascia surrounding the muscle, you can put as much soup in as you want, but it's not going to expand the muscle, right? Because it's like a soup can. If you took a hammer to the inside of that soup can and you banged it out and created more volume in there, which is basically analogous to stretching the fascia out, you'd be able to build more muscle and fit more muscle inside that fascia. So that's where the extreme stretching portion comes in. So if you're doing like, for example, you're working out your lats, afterwards you would do a really deep lat stretch, which is pretty painful actually because, your lats are pretty pumped after a workout, which helps create more room for that muscle growth. So what the workouts actually look like is if you're doing these dog crap style workouts, if you're doing them, you're actually using ascending load. So what that means is like, for example, if you're doing like a chest press with dumbbells and you know that for 10 reps you can do 50 pounds. You would start with 25 pounds for the first set. You just do 10, focus on a lot of them are tempoed. Then the next set you would do, you'd basically do like 75% of that, which would be I don't know if you're doing, that'd be like 35 pounds, 40 pounds, and then you would go into your failure set, right? Which would be like the 10 rep max, the 50 pounds. A lot of this uses tempo. So a lot of dog crap utilizes tempos, 5-second drop with like a pause and then like up on the top, right? What it looks like week to week is the first week is really just acclimation. So you're just focused on like nailing tempos, getting those down, whatever the combination of tempos you're using in that style program is. The second week is called the intensification phase, and that's where you are actually, so the first set acclimation, you're not taking any sets to failure. You're actually leaving like a couple reps in reserve on that last set. You're still like, you're still working on that percentages, the ascending loading. Second phase is intensification. So that's where you are taking that last set to failure, so to muscular failure. It's where you can no longer lift it anymore. And then the third week is what's called rest pause. And this is absolutely the most brutal part of dog crap training. It's basically where you do a set to failure, you rest 20 seconds, you take it to failure again, you rest 20 seconds, and you take it to failure right again. It's really, really hard. So this is the best for building muscle. And, I know a lot of like moms listening, I actually want to build muscle, and they are very like outspoken about it, which is, I love that. I think it's awesome. I think when you're having a fat loss journey or a hormone optimization journey or a health journey or whatever journey you're having that relates to health, the less you can focus on the scale and the more you can focus on like things like strength and your cardio and stuff like that, and take it off, the better it's going to be just mentally for you. Focusing on getting stronger is going to be a lot better for your psyche, for seeing results long term. I would say, what are your goals? Are you trying to build muscle? If you are, this is a great style of training. Do you like doing it? Do you like lifting weights? And this is something you can actually, I do it at the gym, but you can actually do this at home with like a pair of dumbbells. If you have a squat rack rate, barbells, bench, some resistance bands, that's really all you need. But do you like lifting weights, right? Do you like getting stronger? I know a lot of moms I've trained in person, they kind of come in and they start just loving it, right? I'll just take them some strength training, and they like over the weeks and they see their weights go up, and it's really cool. And they start loving it. Is it realistic? Is it realistic for you to, if you have to get like a dumbbell set at home, if you have to do like, get a bench press, get a squat rack, like if you have to go to the gym, like, is that gonna be realistic for you? Is it gonna be realistic for you to like cut out and carve out these workouts are actually pretty short, like 30-45 minutes? But is it realistic to cut out that much time? Or is it like better to do like 5-minute workouts, 10-minute workouts throughout the day? So it just kind of depends on those three factors if you should be doing it in the first place. If all those kind of like make sense, and you're like, yes, the either like it is realistic, or the cost outweighs the benefit outweighs the cost of that, then I would say, yeah, go ahead. But I would say that this is not for newbies. This is for intermediate and advanced lifters only. So if you have no experience lifting weights, you don't know how to deadlift, squat, you don't know how to do like a proper push-up, you don't know how to do like a bench press, incline press, don't do this. I would say only a mom that's worked with a trainer in person or has gotten some sort of coaching from like a friend or family member on how to perform the movements correctly. But my experience personally, let me just actually backtrack. If you aren't an intermediate or advanced person, mom, right, you should not be doing dog crap training. If you're more of a newbie, what I would do is stick more of like what's called like the people from N1, and your goal is to build muscle, like they do really, really well. They do great coaching. They make great programs for more like beginners, but I would use like supersets, just nail the movements, get used to like the exercises, try to do some like tempo work, some like slow eccentrics and lifting the weight up and down, pausing, that type of thing. Get really, really good at that. Focus on getting stronger week to week, that using progressive overload, that type of thing. Getting some like functional strength training, get on a good program, have a good coach, or find something that's good online that you can actually learn from. But if you're a newbie, that's where you should start. But my experience with building muscle for moms is, fat loss is going to be 80% nutrition. I've said this a million times before, right? And a lot of times they get to their goal physique, they're getting down to, anywhere between 15 to 20% body fat. And they're like, I feel emaciated. And before it's like, I don't want to get big and bulky. But like now when they lose all this body fat, they realize, wow, I don't really actually have that much muscle. It was a lot of it was like water retention and glycogen and actual fat that was surrounding the muscles that was kind of giving this look. And now they're like, wow, I need to build some muscle because I realize I don't have any muscle. So my experience is and that's actually a great point to be, because after you finish that, the best way to sustain is once you can learn how to eat intuitively, is to change your focus to more of like a strength focus. So getting really, really good at, getting really good, really strong, really all that stuff. And there's no supersets involved with dog crap. So basically what a superset is if you're doing 2 exercises back to back. So say you're doing like a squat and a push-up, you do a set of 10 squats, rest for 30 to 45 seconds or a minute, do a set of, if you're doing push-up and squat, I think I said squat first. So if you're doing you do 10 reps of squats, rest 30 to 60 seconds. Then you do like 10 reps of push-ups, right? We're doing rest 30 to 60 seconds, do the same thing, squat, then push-up, squat, push-up, right? You go back and forth for the allotted amount of sets each. But dog crap is just straight sets. Like you're doing 1 set, you're resting 2 to 3 minutes, the next set, warm-up set, 2 to 3 minutes, then the last set, you're taking a failure. Or if it's, your acclimation phase, you are keeping some reps in reserve. So when do you know if you're kind of like intermediate or advanced? You're like, wow, I'm really interested in this stuff. Like I want to get to that point. I want to like build up my strength. I would say once you can squat at least 1 time your body weight. So if you're a girl, woman, circle, square, whatever. If you're someone, I would say like any woman, should be about like at least squatting, back squatting. I'm talking about 1 time their body weight. So like if you were 120 pounds, you should be able to squat 120 pounds on your back at least, right? And that would make you like, just below intermediate. So that's why I'd be like, okay, you're cool to like progress into some dog crap training. If you can deadlift your 1.5 times your body weight with really good form, and that doesn't have to be barbell, that can be trap bar too. That'd be good too. But yeah, I love this stuff. I know I'm ranting. This is like the longest podcast and video I've made in a long time, because this is like where I started my career, is like in this training world, and specifically functional strength training. And this stuff's like near and dear to my heart. I love this stuff. I love to coach it in person. I love when moms get fully focused on building muscle and getting stronger. And you're not going to get big and bulky. Like if you get big and bulky, it's a matter of like your diet sucks, you're not losing body fat, and you're building muscle. And you can build muscle. Like don't listen to anyone that's going to tell you otherwise. But it takes you a long time and it's really hard. But you will get some beginner gains in the beginning. Beginner gains is basically when you have a very like non-linear progression going upwards in your strength. That's typically like the first 6 to 12 months of training. So get your diet dialed in. If you are like worried about getting bulky, I would definitely make sure you're eating in a deficit and really focused on your sleep, and adding some strength training in at the same time, some hypertrophy training. So I hope this helps. If you like this, definitely comment, because this is my bread and butter here, is the strength training. Like obviously I love nutrition and that's really interesting, but this is like, I can go into talk about it for eons. Anyways, happy whatever day you're watching this on. Again, intermediate, advanced, only doing dog crap. If you're a newbie, beginner to strength training, get a good coach, get a good program, learn the compound movements, and kind of progress from there. Anyways, love y'all. Happy whatever day you're watching this on.